Well, everybody's getting nervous now. Madonna just pulled her war video off VH1, and I think she was right to pull her video. Okay, I think she should have pulled her last 10. That's true. Thanks. Well, fellas, I really hope we have a heck of a show. Hope we hit it out of the park. Now, do you think Madonna pulled that video because her conscience got the better of her, or she's just afraid of a Dixie Chicks reaction?
She's a coward. That's why she pulled the video.
Really?
Yeah, all of a sudden Madonna's worried about offending someone. Every video she does should have a face shot at the end of it.
You know, on the one hand, it's a little insulting because she's claiming that Americans might misinterpret the point of the video. So on the one hand, it's insulting that she thinks we can't just take it for what it is. On the other hand, you can't sort of blame her for thinking the American public is stupid because, after all, we made her famous and she sucks.
You're supposed to have this is the thing. She said, like, the video had a message, and it's like there was girls on the toilet and transvestite soldiers. What was the message? Give Jim Norton an erection?
What bugs me about it more than anything is that she didn't pull it in the rest of the world. So she's just pulling it in America, but it's still being shown in Europe. And it's like the last thing the rest of the world needs is more anti-American fodder. You know, I mean, the Canadians are so mad at us. They're sending Celine Dion here for 3 years to torture us in Vegas.
Yeah, she was going to make that.
But don't you think, this is what I think. I think it was a lot of pressure, though, because I think that the people who are for the war are getting just as annoying as the people against the war.
Right.
So everybody's, on it like that, man. It's like everybody don't have to be for the war. And she's getting all this pressure. So I think that was the thing. There's a money thing. She had to get rid of it.
But that's the point. How committed are you to things? Like, Donnell, you were in the Air Force, right?
Air Force. That's a nice way to introduce me to the show, man.
Well, you know.
You kiss ass in the Air Force.
But weren't you, when you were in the Air Force, what do you think when people protest? If you were over there fighting right now, what would you think?
I think we should come and shoot the protest and then go back over there, man.
Okay.
I mean, for anybody, the way I look at it, for anybody that want to protest, all you got to remember is a big date, 9/11. That'll symbolize something, and you should go over there and beat some asses, you know?
Yeah, well,
But here's the thing. I disagree with that, though, man. I disagree.
You spend one day.
He never even got in a fight.
He was in the Army for 1 day.
No, I was in the Navy, man. I was in the Navy. I drove to the place, but I didn't go because my mommy got me out of it. And
But you know they call Navy, guys in the Navy, they call them seamen. So you was a seaman?
Hey, come on.
But why is it wrong? Why is it wrong for people to protest? I mean, that's an artist's place is to make statements. The only issue that I have is that Madonna never, what were her statements? I mean, nobody wants to hear her thoughts. We want to see her tits.
Yeah, but I don't want to. She's like 144 years old now.
In the context of your work, people want to hear your statements. That's why I was for Madonna doing the video, even though I don't agree with her, because it was in the context of her work. Michael Moore, to me, is a phony because he didn't do it as work. He just complained no war for oil.
Well, it's a good example of Michael Moore right now. We're going to cut to this footage for a second of that System of the Down video. Thanks. Now, okay. Deep. Now, forgetting about the fact, let's get past the fact that everybody that protested on that, you wanted to punch in the face. I realize that.
Why, though?
To get your face. I don't know, something about I don't know if it's a combination.
Because they're annoying. They're just little jizz bags who don't shave
No,
their
he's saying
armpits
why.
and smell like patchouli oil.
But the point is, go ahead.
Why can't you be for the troops and be for maybe Bush and not for the war? Why not? What's the problem with that?
Well, because you can't have it both ways.
Yes, you can. It's like, look, when they first was about to go to war, I was like, don't fight, don't fight.
Right.
As soon as they started the war, I'm like, kick their ass, kick their ass.
Right.
I was with them then. So
Right.
what's the problem now?
But that's different from having it both ways.
But we ain't kicked enough ass yet. We haven't even kicked enough ass yet.
We're about 3 miles from Baghdad. We're killing them. What are you talking about?
But he knows the army from the inside.
look,
What's going on with the soldiers as far as the training? We were talking this afternoon.
I think.
What is he, Tommy Franks? He don't know.
He was in there for 4 years.
Yeah. Shut up, Brian Gumble.
Why can't I be Brian Gumble? What's wrong with me being Brian Gumble?
Because black people don't like Brian Gumble.
That's black on black, brother. That's black on black. You remember that?
We've been waiting for this for a long time.
But
But I don't know. Our troops now, we're not getting the proper training. Like the average troop, before they even go into war, they got 6 weeks of training. We got POWs getting captured, not by enemies, but we getting captured because we getting bad directions. You know, the POWs you got, and that's the one time you should have listened to a girl that was in the passenger seat. You know she was going out street. I said, make a right on Nazareth Boulevard! Make a left on Baghdad Central!
And she's annoying because she said she was trying to just show people that she was just as dissatisfied as they are, even though she has such a great life. And that was the message I got out of her video, and it annoyed me.
You know what annoys me? That it took me a minute to think, who's this idiot talking about? He's back on Madonna. Hey, stupid.
Yeah, he left Madonna 5 years ago.
He's talking about Madonna with his hands in his pants.
Exactly. You're like a raging queen sitting in her apartment in 8th Avenue in Chelsea. I'm going to get back to Madonna, and I don't give a hoot. Who knows about it? Listen, stupid.
Well, listen, you go to him like he's the one guy who was in the military, and you keep.
He was the one guy in the military. Don't you think it's kind of interesting to have a comedian who actually did something besides lay around the house till he got comedy?
No, I don't.
I do. I find it very fascinating.
Well,
I mean, look, people are against, like, okay, I hear you on one show, Monday show, you was talking about, you was against Bush. You was talking about Blair's doing a better job than Bush, which I don't think. You know, so it's like I'm for Bush, I'm for the troops, but I'm just not for the war right now. Because they haven't found the chemical weapons yet.
They found a box.
A box? Oh, come on.
It said chemical weapons on the side. There's nothing there. But listen to this. What I'm saying is, don't you feel like ultimately all the protesting, when people drop their videos, the Dixie Chicks to apologize, Madonna pulls a video, that all these people, they're kind of like half protesting, play acting in this country. Because we don't really have those kind of situations. It's not death. Like Manute Bol. Now you might say, why would somebody bring up Manute Bol? Because he gave all his money to Sudan. He's broke all the time because he gives all his money. The biggest, most liberal people in this world, they don't give all their money to Iraq. They give some, and they keep some for them, most for themselves. You know what I mean? So don't you think our country is just a little bit insincere?
Yes, a little insincere, and also a little hypocritical. I mean, you get like Michael Moore, we were talking about him, and I mean, it just seems like if you're going to dedicate your career to ranting about the excesses of American capitalism, you probably shouldn't weigh 450 pounds. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
That's a very good
You
point.
can believe what you want. If you're going to pretend to care about the hungry, you shouldn't eat enough for 5 people. I'm sure you got a slow metabolism.
There's no way. Go ahead.
There's no humility in any of them. They're arrogant. That's why I like Ozzy Osbourne so much, because he's honest. He doesn't preach about what we should do in Iraq. He doesn't even know we're having problems in Iraq.
He's honest with that. How can he be honest with the TV camera right in front of him? He's not honest.
He is honest.
Phony.
He walks around without a shirt. He's got a
There's a
body
bunch
like
of dummies
E.T.
like him going to the concert. And you leave Tony Tone sweater alone. Now listen, we'll be right back. I don't want to talk about it. Even though I was proud of myself in that one. It's a nice sweater. All right. Okay, so here, taking a new tack, I'm reading the paper today. This guy, Scott McNally, he's the CEO of Sun Microsystems, right? He got a $26 million salary last year, and the company's stock was down 68%. So the point is, this happens. We see this all the time. Enron, Tyco, outrageous billions. Why do we let this happen?
Because it's not that we let it happen. It's the CEOs, and I'm not saying that they are not overpaid, but the decisions they make are going to cost the company or lose the company millions of dollars. Whereas, like with Mel Karmazin, he just re-signed with Viacom. He's irreplaceable. Whereas the average MTV employee can be replaced by a chimpanzee with Down syndrome.
But how is he irreplaceable?
Yeah.
Just because Viacom owns this stupid show? I've met Mel Karmazin. I'll tell you something. He's got a tanning machine like Rich Voss. It's the same.
I tell you how he's irreplaceable, because he guided through Viacom through a very tough time with advertising, and he still made the company money.
I don't like when you research before the show. It bugs me.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah. Settle down there, Lou Dobbs.
But the point is not that. We all know it's unfair, but why don't, nobody really gives a damn. If I'm going to put on TV, if you had the Enron hearings.
I don't even know who the hell Enron is.
He's that guy. Well, you just don't know.
I don't know Enron, I don't know Leroy, and I don't know Big Mike, none of them two.
Did you just say that's not fair, grown man? Life isn't fair. Is it fair that Tommy Lee goes from Heather Locklear to Pam Anderson while I'm paying fat chicks for a hand job?
You know, that is a great point. That is a great point. The world is not a perfect place. If it was, would his skull be shaped like that?
No.
Look.
I told you before, you should sue God. Now listen. But my point is this. I know it's not fair, but I'm just saying that, don't you think Why is it that, nobody really, we're not going to do anything about anything? Talk about Enron, Tyco. Nobody, you're like, oh, look at that guy, billions of dollars. We're not interested. I'd rather go watch The Sopranos than listen
But we're too busy. We pay more attention to the athletes, what the athletes are making.
Right.
That's the big thing. We look at all the athletes. Oh, look how much they're making. We're more worried about whether a Puff Daddy gets a new throwback jersey rather than this one guy in
Why do I feel like there's a racial undertone to this right now, you son of a...
So why'd you go from athletes to Puff
and
Daddy?
Puff Daddy?
Well, that's
as opposed to the white CEOs. Don't try to trick us. We know where you're going.
I didn't try to round the back pass on you, but it's true though, man. People pay attention to the athletes and what they're making. They don't give a damn about some guy from some company. They don't care.
Yeah, but they don't care because most people think, well, these guys make a lot of money anyway. But they don't realize that it's one thing to make a lot of money. It's another thing to have a scam system that's not fair. I mean, this is a little clique of guys. They watch out for each other's interests, and it's not fair. I mean, that's why if you think that the stock market is a way for the little man to make money, you're crazy. That's why I have all my money in Iraqi currency.
Well, that might have but listen, it is true. I mean, how stupid are we that you have all these people who work in stock market and you think they're going to call you up, hey, we're looking out for you, and they're going to keep the secrets to themselves and hoard all the money. I mean, it's
a lot of the guys
for trusting this stupid system that doesn't work anyway.
Yeah, but I think a lot of them are going to jail now anyway.
No, but don't you think that if they gave like the death penalty to a few of these guys that had Enron or Tyco, I mean, these guys stole
They sell the death penalty. And they're trying to stop the
they
market
lost so much
crashes.
money, but I'm saying that if they gave them the death penalty, so people go, oh wow, they really did rob all these people's pensions, and they also they ripped them off for 20 years, and they took their pensions. If you killed a few, we would get more into it. It would be like a kind of thing.
But they kill themselves though, Colin.
But I'm saying it's more flashy. You go, oh God, they really give it, then there's something at stake, and you'd be interested in watching. That would
Every
anything, Colin.
every white CEO has that stock dropping gun in the drawer. And when it goes down,
Every white CEO has a stop dropping gun in the
when the stocks crash, first thing they do, pow, jumping off buildings. Black people, that's why black people not CEOs, because we don't got time to blow our brains off and jump off of buildings.
No.
We got to worry about baby
We're
mama and
CEOs.
stuff like that.
Nah, there's a lot of...
We're CEOs now. It's 2000.
Here we go. The leader becomes.
The leader of a Jamaican posse is not a CEO, stupid. And the death penalty is an awful example if you gave the death penalty.
Shut up. It's not an awful example.
You want the death penalty to be the answer to every problem in the world. You can't just kill executives for corporate scams.
No,
Do you really think that? You really want
No, I'm not saying
Take
because
their
of
money from them. Make them apply
not
for
just take the
Section 8
money, but I'm saying
housing.
if you
That's
want to get the
the best
public
thing.
interested, you got to have violence or sex involved in anything. And if you start killing people, people are going to say, hey, look, the guy from Enron, he's in trouble. Let's see if he gets the death penalty.
Why don't we just Why don't we just rape him then?
Yes.
Let's just rape him.
I'd love to see Milken sticking it to Ivan Boesky. I knew that wouldn't get a laugh, but it was clever.
One thing I like about this crowd, they know that I had a good idea and you guys just ruined it.
No, you didn't.
Now listen, shut up. That was a good one. But speaking of corporations, I don't think the ads coming up right now are sponsored by Doctors Without Borders. We'll be right back. Oh! I'll tell you, I think that guy's CEO idea was great. Those four dummies. Anyway, but I'm just an audience member. What the hell? The war is happening, but life still has to go on. That's what the segment is all about. Let's go out to the streets and see what's happening. It's a little something Look at this. You got the homeless guy with the mouse trying to beg for money. And even the mouse is like, hey, what do we do? Well, I wouldn't give us money. Why? Because I'm a white mouse and you look like an Oak Ridge boy? I don't get it, Willard. You stupid idiot. I should have been with Crispin Glover. I'd be making some real bucks. Oh, look at this guy. He hasn't worked in 2 years. He just leaves his house every morning. Gets on his cell phone, which has already been cut off. I figured out why they won't hire me in these interviews. My coach from 1985 stands there. He's like, I don't know. I'll just stand here. Maybe my job will come back. Okay. Here's the plan. Nobody's going to know. We walk in to Kitty Peabody. We blend in with the rest of the stockbrokers. Once we're in there, you take off your mullet and just kind of blend. I said if I got to Meg Ryan, Harvey'd be excited. He loves Meg Ryan, but it didn't work sexually. You marry a claims adjuster, you get a claims adjuster. Hey, she told me she liked me as a friend. Me too. Me too. Man, we got to do something, man. We're just not dangerous enough, you know? Why don't we do something crazy this year? I mean, this is crazy for spring break, walking around Washington Square Park, but next year, let's go to like Long Island, something. Oh yes, good advice from my brother. He tells me, oh yes, leave Nepal with the beautiful women and the gorgeous weather. Come to New York. you can serve fat people from Missouri stale pretzels while they try to press their face against the Today Show. Yes. Oh, I had tenure. I was the chairman of the department. And that damn Devin, she came in. She transfixed me. I couldn't stop. She knew what she was doing. I gave it all up. It was worth it. Oh, for crying out loud. Do you realize now what I get to remember? Okay. 2 in the head, drop the gun, jump in the car and drive. 2 in the head, drop the gun, jump in the car and drive away. Okay, just that casual. Oh yes, good move, definitely. You're smart, my brother. I'd like to stab him in the face with a fork. Oh! Whoa! Folks, we kid people, but none of those people were harmed during the making of that thing, and that's the important thing. I don't want to promise anything, but if you stick around, there's a lot of money involved in Act 4. A lot of money. Don't miss it. We'll be right back. Folks, welcome to the money-making infomercial we call Act 4. Our topic is money, and who better to talk about money than people who barely earn enough on the road to pay for prostitutes and beer. We asked them to imagine they are CEOs whose stock is down 50%, but they just got a multi-million-dollar raise. We want you to tell the stockholders why you deserve your raise. Donnell, would you like to start?
I want to give a shout out to everybody in Brooklyn first off. Now, some of you 401k punk bitches may ask, how does our CEO get a raise when the company is doing so bad? First off, you have to understand what CEO means to a brother from the hood. Criminal employment opportunities. If you're still confused, let's just say, this is my reparation check for 400 years of slavery. Word up.
Okay, now, is your nose clear, Mr. Norton?
Yeah, I'm fine,
Jim
thank you.
Norton.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm aware that a lot of you here at Nasseria Vacations are really nervous. I knew I shouldn't have changed that from Iraqi, but I'm stupid. This, combined with the multi-million-dollar loss due to the Colin Quinn workout video, has sent stock plummeting down to a whopping 4 rubles a share. Well, let's look at the glasses half full. Someday it may become fashionable to have a body like William Frawley, in which case we'll sell enough of these to put us all on Easy Street. There's also been much to do about my decision last month to dump all our interest in the Chinese surgical mask industry. How the hell was I supposed to know that all of a sudden people would feel safer receiving anal sex from a Dominican heroin user than having Jackie Chan sneeze on them?
That was a noble effort, they call that. You know what the thing about me that really did hurt, man? It's like I'm a punchline to you about my body. I do look good.
You look great.
Greg Giraldo.
Thank you. Hello, peons. I know our stock price just went down like Jim Norton on a $10 hooker, but it wasn't my fault. We ran into some labor problems. They just don't make Guatemalan kids like they used to. Look, sometimes things don't work out the way you planned. We tried selling our line of women's softball equipment in Afghanistan. Then we learned there were no big fat lesbians in Afghanistan. Who knew with the burqas? Bottom line is, I'm better than all of you, so pay me or I'll go drive another company into the ground.
All right. Thank you. Keith Robinson.
Okay, here we go. Now, folks, I know a lot of you are a little disappointed because of the fact that, stock has dropped. We have a lot of problems going on, and some of you probably have to seek Section 8 housing now.
Why you mad at me on that part?
It's not about you guys. It's not even about me. It's about Little Keith. My son, Little Keith. I want him to have what I never had before. A space shuttle.
All right. Oh, I like that. He made an executive decision at the last minute. Get ready. Okay, folks, this is mine, believe it or not. I'm actually going to do one now. Although all roads are. This is a time for tightening our belts. I have to lay off 10,000 factory workers, 100 executives, and the first mate on my yacht. This is not easy, but just think how much worse it would have been if Bush's tax cut hadn't have gone through. Remember, folks, money can't buy happiness, but it'll pay for a lot of lap dances. So you got that going for you. Good night.